Welcome back to Rounding the Bases, Extra Innings here on YouTube. I usually do 4 random questions. I might have a couple, but we didn't because the conversation with Caroline Markel Hammond went just so well and so deep. I really, I'll even beg people, I think, on this one, but I really encourage everybody to listen to it, share it wherever you get your podcast, because it could change lives. It's powerful. It'll change your perspective about domestic violence, trafficking, and a very heavy but very open topic from Carolyn, a survivor herself. I didn't get a chance to ask you my baseball themed question. So I usually do 4 questions. So I'm going to do 3 of my baseball themed, and then we'll wrap it up with some form of a grand slam. The first question is, what's the biggest home run that you've hit?
The biggest home run that I've hit is raising incredible, resilient children. My children, if anybody has listened and followed along with the YouTube or the podcast, were very much a part of an escape plan from domestic violence. And they all could have gone down a road of anger and be justified, and even gone down a road of poor health or poor life decisions. And we came together as a family during that crisis in ways that I am still so proud of now. They're stellar humans, and to see them navigate it, all of them, will eventually, but one of my children now writes for Safe in Harm's Way to talk about the perspective of how a situation looks, both from the person experiencing violence and both of from the children within that, in that dynamic and what that looks like. And to have those, that's a stellar outcome. And the people they've fallen in love with, we call ourselves the Beehive, are incredible humans as well. So between us, there's 7 people, there's 5 dogs, 4 cats, and at one point I think there was a goldfish. So that's how we roll.
How about a swing and a miss, and what did you learn from it?
Boy, the swing and the miss for me was deciding that I was going to start an organization and a nonprofit when I knew absolutely nothing about it. And so I was willing, as a firstborn perfectionist, slightly OCD person, to not have everything in line. And I swung a lot and I missed a lot. And it cost me in the form of finances. It cost me in the form of time. It cost me in the form of really doubting myself. But what I learned from it is that I learned from it. So if I had not taken those chances, if I had not swung for that ball that looked like it was the perfect drive down the middle that I could have knocked out of the park on a home run, if I had not swung on that and missed, I would not have learned the lesson I need to, which only made me better for what was to come in the evolution of safeinharmsway.org and Epizon Strategy Solutions.
And the last one is small ball, the little things that add up to the big results. What is small ball to you?
Small ball to me is connection with people authentically. Ron Markel taught me everything I know about connecting, and it was great as a little girl to watch him work a room, but he was authentic in it. He wasn't interacting and remembering kids' names and what sports they played or what plays they were in or where they were going to college because he was trying to get a sale. He did it because he was interacting with people. That's how he's wired. And for me, it's those small things of really being present, looking people in the eye and having a conversation and remembering about them, because everybody has a story and everybody wants to be heard. And so I do that. I know it's hardwired through my DNA, but I also know I do it in honor of my dad. And it's those small things that have huge, massive results.
That you are speaking my language. I will say that right now. And that one is one, some people are better than others with connectivity, but it all comes down to people. It always does. And you've got that one made. Okay. So I usually do 4 questions. I've got a few more, but let's wrap it up with, first off, and then I'll have a bonus, I guess. The book, best-selling book, and all the rest of the things you're doing. Tell me about that and some of your, the media that you're involved in.
Sure. I was able to be part of 2 international bestsellers, both of them focused on compilation books but both of them focused, one specifically on domestic violence, and that's called #SheWins2. And the second one is called Dragon Slayers Wear Lipstick. And that is a compilation book from people who've navigated anything from domestic violence to body shaming, racism, addiction. It's the how to navigate it, because people can be experiencing and then don't know the first step to take. So what we did with that book, and it's my favorite, is we also made an accompanying workbook where we charted our journey, and we wrote out in our own handwriting a workbook that people could follow with our prompts. And so it's a handbook, not only a book, Dragon Slayers Wear Lipstick, but a handbook, which is the handbook and guide to Dragon Slayers Wear Lipstick. And it allows people to navigate their journey, whatever that is, and however they identify, in ways that fuel their healing and fuel just one more step forward, even if you take 2 steps back.
So you've got the books. People, again, can find out more about everything. And there's a lot of inspiring stories just on the website, safeandharmsway.org. And so we've covered all that. I'll throw a couple rapid fires at you to wrap it up, because these were originally going to be part of my final 4 questions as we rounded the bases, but we had too many other things going on. I read that there is only one man that you would travel around the world for. Who is that?
Oh, Mr. Dave Matthews and his fabulous band. It saved me at my deepest, darkest. I've always been a huge fan of Dave Matthews. And in 2017, I had just finally got into an apartment, and I received a random message from another fan that said, hey, there's this big trip coming up. You were given a number on which you could purchase the tickets. And he said, you seem really cool. My wife and I have checked you out. We will purchase everything. You can pay us back whenever, but can we use your ticket and all of us do this trip together? And if you think about it, for someone who's navigated and stepped away from domestic violence, that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But my former husband used to be a police officer, so he ran a record check on them. They had nothing around them. Hunter's dad was a former police officer. I actually went down to Texas where they lived and visited with them twice with my family, so we all knew each other. And taking that trip with strangers opened up my world to people across the globe who also love this band. And I've got to travel with them more. They are some of my biggest donors to Safe and Harm's Way.
Wow.
They are people who push out into the world what I'm doing and share it. And it's been an amazing journey. And I'll get to add, I've seen him 110 times, and come February, it'll be 111, 12, and 13.
Where are those at?
In Mexico on a beach. So there's nothing better than to hear live music on a beach.
I was going to be like, let's see, if that's around here, maybe I'll go. I haven't seen Dave Matthews Band in, I think my wife and I last saw them in St. Louis when we lived there, and we've been here 15 years. So I bet it's 16, 17, 18 years ago. And, it's hard for me because so many of those concerts are during the summer when I'm knee deep in baseball, but it's gotta happen at the right time. But 110 times and counting. The final walk-off question is, I read that for 2023, your word of the year is wild.
It is.
Explain, please.
When I escaped from domestic violence, I had been so dismantled from the inside out. And we talked about what my dreams were as a little girl. I had 0 dreams in 2016. I could not even imagine what a life would be like where I wasn't hiding and living in fear. I couldn't imagine a time when I didn't cry for 6 to 8 hours during a 24-hour cycle. I had 0 dreams, but to stay alive and to keep my children alive. And over the course of the past 6 years, I have a whole routine, and every month gets the same word, but how am I tweaking the word for this month? And it'll be 7 years in March since I escaped. And there's a lot of great literature that says your body overturns every 7 years. So there's no more cells or anything within you that is part of the previous 7 years. And so I thought, why don't I start it now? And why don't I decide to live my wildest dreams? I never, ever could have imagined that that what we do at Safe in Harm's Way would take off on an international level, and it has. So if I've created something without dreaming about it, what could I create if I dreamt about my wildest dreams? Is that in love? Is that in travel? Is that in, what is it? I don't know, but I'm going to start wildly dreaming and see what can happen in comparison to what has happened without a specific dream.
Keep on dreaming, Carolyn. I know that you will. And again, I can't thank you enough for the YouTube portion of this, for the audio portion of it. It's an hour plus conversation. Every moment of it riveting, compelling, inspiring. Thank you. Thank you so much for spending all of the time. And I can't wait to hear about concerts number 111, 112, and 113.
I'll send you pictures from the beach.
Yeah, that's so nice of you. But I would like to see those pictures, maybe a video clip at some point. Favorite song? That's a hard question to ask, right?
Die Trying. I don't, yeah, Die Trying is always going to be, but I have to be specific. It's Die Trying from 2008 at Busch Stadium. It was right before LaVoy Moore passed away, their saxophonist, and that's my favorite version of it.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate everything.
Joel, thank you. This has been an absolute pleasure, not only professionally to get to talk about what I do, but personally to get to know you better and start off our relationship with like a big bang, a big wild bang.
It's a big wild bang. Much more to come offline for sure. Thanks, Carolyn.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.